Welcome back to Captain Kirk's lab, and we're going to explore a new concept based on what we learned last week. Last week we learned about conductivity and how heat can travel through different substances. As a little bit of a review for that, we're going to look at two different objects here. We have this metal screw and we have this Lego figure here. We know the screw is made out of metal, and obviously the Lego figure here is made out of plastic. Which of these substances would conduct heat the best? Well, we should have learned last week that obviously the metal screw is going to conduct heat way faster than this plastic Lego figure. If I were to hold this metal screw up against this curling iron, I would probably feel that heat travel fairly quickly. Whereas if I took this Lego figure and touched this curling iron, I know I'm not going to feel anything. The plastic acts as sort of like an insulator and keeps me from getting burned. You also learned in the presentation that this property of conductivity is based on how the atoms are positioned within that substance. We know that the metal is the atoms are pretty close together, so heat can travel fairly quickly, and we use the set of dominoes to express that, showing how the atoms are close together and how quickly that heat can travel. We also learned, well, the opposite is sort of true. Oh my gosh, the stormtrooper lost his helmet. Is also true with the situation with plastic. The atoms are obviously spaced further apart, so heat travels slower. And as we could see here, as we could see there, it was much slower in that case. The other thing to keep in mind is objects like metal, we know if we use a conductivity meter here, things that are good conductors of heat will also conduct electricity. So this conductivity meter here measures that. Whereas if I take this Lego figure here and hold the conductivity meter up to him, we know that there is not going to be any sort of conduction of electricity. So another thing that you can use, again, to justify that some substances are generally substances that conduct heat well also conduct electricity well. Well, we're ready to learn something new though, and what we're going to investigate is which of these two items, the stormtrooper, get his helmet back on here, there you go, or the screw, which one of these is going to hold on to heat better, or what we call is heat, we call in science as which one has a better heat capacity or a higher specific heat. So in order to investigate that, we're going to use what is called a calorimeter. And I have two calorimeters here. I have this that I constructed out of some styrofoam cups, and you can see there's a thermometer in there. So what a calorimeter does is measures how much heat an object can release. And what you do basically is, if I open this up, we have some water in here, and that water is at a certain temperature, and it's a certain mass of water also that is measured out. So if we put an object in this calorimeter that's warm, what it'll do is it'll raise the temperature of the water up, and we can measure how much heat is given off based on how much the temperature changes. So we have a calorimeter here, and I have another one over here. So what we're going to do, let me get the curling iron out of here for effects here. What we're going to do with our two figures is we're going to drop them both into some really hot water. So I'm going to get some water boiling here, and I'm going to drop the two figures in this water, and we're going to watch them. We're going to let them sort of just sit in there until we know for sure that they're equal to the temperature of the water. So we'll try to get that boiling and get those really hot. And then what we're going to do after we drop those in, so after we take them out of that container, we're going to place each one into the calorimeter. So the screw will go into this calorimeter here, and the Lego figure will go into this calorimeter over here, and then we're going to see what happens. What you need to do is you need to make a prediction as which of the two items is going to raise the temperature of water higher? Will the screw increase the temperature of the water in the calorimeter or higher, or will the Lego figure? So go ahead and make that prediction in your Google form, and then we'll go ahead and conduct that experiment.